All right. June 21st. Good news. Tesla went up today, but my 720 covered calls expiring this Friday. We don't talk about that. They're down like 400%. Anyways, still a good day because all my leaps outweigh all of the covered calls, and also I guess the cash secured puts that I sold made money so far. So all right, next story. Breakfast garlic. So this was one of the events that we did before the restaurant opened. The chef that I was gonna work for, and it was basically like a private catering event for some rich business people, whatever. It was like inside a Macy's store or something like that. It was basically breakfast for like a course menu breakfast with canapes and stuff like that for maybe like 20-30 people. So it was early in the morning. Anyways, so I want to preface this with a lesson that I learned from one of the things that I learned that I didn't want to do is when I eventually became a person in management, is to not communicate properly to my cooks and chefs, and to yell at them afterwards for them not being able to read my mind. Because like when we would prep all of these ingredients, we would just get told, you're gonna cut pears this big, you're gonna follow this recipe, you're gonna do this, you're gonna cook this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna make all these components, so all these parts of a whole dish, but I'm not gonna tell you which goes with what and how we're preparing it and what the dish is. So, and then if you tried to ask, you'd get yelled at. So you just did what you were told. But then when you don't go beyond the point of doing what you're told and like read his mind to know how we're gonna cook this dish or do all this stuff, then you see the problem there, right? He expects you to do something without giving the tools to do it, or know that you're supposed to do it, or know that you're, you know, that whole thing. Anyways, it was for a breakfast event, and you know, everything else is normal, but we show up, and then he asked me for a deli, and then I was like, no, we don't have any delis. Nobody told us to bring any delis. And he said something like, how are we supposed to mix this kampachi or whatever with this stuff? And then like, nobody told me to bring anything. How am I supposed? I don't know the dishes, so well, how am I supposed to prepare and bring the equipment to make the dishes that you didn't tell me what the dishes are? I'm supposed to just assume, like, anyways. The other guy said he probably has some in his car because he drove separately, and so we went to it. At this point, we're getting yelled at because it's never that simple that he just says, why the fuck don't you have this? It's like a 5-minute speech every time over every little thing. So for example, it'd be like, Kenny, give me a deli. And then I'm like, chef, we didn't bring any extra. And then he would say something like, why the fuck not? And then I would say, because you didn't tell me to. and then he would do this whole thing like, he would either go straight to screaming or be like, and then I'm just standing over there waiting for him to say something. I just and then he would get into the yelling part, like, this is fucking basic. How are you supposed to mix this fish for the kampachi dish without a deli? You should have known that we needed a deli. And then he would run a full circle around the whole problem, and then he would go back around 2 more times. And then, whereas if I had that problem, I would just be like, okay, we're gonna do this to fix it. But instead of it, he asks you, how are you gonna fix it? And then I would give him something like, here's another container. Well, we dump this into here, and we have an empty container now because you specifically want a deli for some reason. And then you're like, no, that's fucking stupid, or something like that. It was, no, it makes too much sense. I can't do it because I don't get to yell at you about it. Anyways, me and the other guy go to his car, and then he does have one deli. And then we bring it back, and like, we found one deli because it like fell out some other time out of like the equipment bin or something. He smells it, and then he's like, it smells like garlic and can't use it. And then I was like, okay, we're gonna go wash it then. And then, now he didn't say, he yelled. He's like, don't fucking come back until you have a deli or something like that. So both of us, we go out. It's like a mall. It's like a nice fancy mall with like marble tiles, and it's all bright and white, and there's like jewelry stores and watch stores and expensive stores in general. It was in Waikiki. We find the public bathroom, and we go inside, and it looks all nice. So I was like, okay, this is how we're gonna solve the problem. I told the other guy, we're gonna wash it until the garlic smell comes out. So he takes some of the hand soap, and we like lather it all in there, and then we rinse it, and then we smell it. No, it still smells like garlic. So we do it again, and then this time we like try to scrub it with something more abrasive, because we did bring sponges. And then, so we did it. We're like taking soap, scrubbing it. Like both of us are like, here, you smell it. So 2 of us in chef jackets are in the public bathroom, just passing this empty container back and forth with other people around us, just like, no, it still smells like garlic. Keep going, keep going. It's like we're like a schizophrenic or something, that, you know, those people that have to wash their hands, and like they have to keep washing it like 30 something times. We're just constantly going like, no, we have to scrub it harder, we have to scrub it faster, more soap, rub it in. No. So we're in the bathroom for like 20 minutes because we get paid so little. It doesn't matter if our time is wasted. We make about $2 to $3 an hour that he doesn't care. So we're scrubbing it and then smelling it like for 10-20 minutes straight, and then it's like, it's not coming out. But we're just gonna he said, don't fucking come back until it doesn't smell like garlic, or you got another one or something. So I was like, we're just gonna stay here, we're gonna clean it until it doesn't smell anymore. Always smells like garlic, can't get it out. Anyways, after like 20 minutes, my phone rings, and then he's calling. He's like, hey, come back. So we go back, and all of a sudden he's happy. He's like, it was so easy. It was so easy. Look, I just went like this, and I just went like this, and I got this empty container. What's so hard? Next time, just prepare, you know? It's like, we just left and you're screaming, and we come back, and he's like, it's so hard. I'm the god of cooking. It's so simple. Why didn't you think of putting this thing into this other thing so you have an empty container? Look, I already did it. Look, I have the fish mix. So that's the breakfast garlic story. How much time we got left? Okay, well, this one's kind of short, the pork belly one. Basically, this was near the beginning, and we were prepping for this event, and there was pork belly, obviously. We cooked it in the oven. He went off to do something while we prepped, and then there was pork belly in the oven, and then he called. He was like, hey, Kenny, go get something and poke the pork belly. If it's soft, take it out. So I go grab a knife, I poke it in, and it's like, huh, went through cleanly, not very much, not very hard to stick the knife in. it's cooked. I was like, okay, take it out and do the whole thing, put it away and all that. And then he comes back later and he's like, Kenny, was the pork belly soft? I was like, yeah, I poked it. And also I told the other guy to poke it so we can like double check, like both of us think it's soft. And then we get to the event and then he's screaming about other things like us not having 20, 30 components all set up in like 5 minutes already, when we just got there. And then later on in the dinner, he's like, Kenny, the fucking pork belly is raw. And I was like, I never cooked pork belly before, so I didn't tell him that, but he should have known that I never cooked pork belly before, because like, huh? And then he screamed at me for like 20 minutes, and like he's getting mad and salty and all that, and he was like, what am I supposed to do now and all that, and it's like, now keep in mind it was cooked, it just wasn't braised. So I was like, slice it thinner, cook it longer, because this wasn't at the time of the event, this was like an hour or two before, so there's time to, you might not be able to braise it completely, but you can do other things to make it servable. And he's just screaming for a long time, and then yeah, at the end of it, when he calmed down, he was like, why would you poke it with a knife? A knife is sharp, of course it goes through easily. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to poke it with? My finger? when it's in the oven? Or a spoon? You want me to poke it with a spoon and make a hole in it and get yelled at about a hole? So I guess that one is also part of that other one, which is communicate clearly and don't get mad when things get fucked up because you didn't communicate clearly. All right, that's it for today.